Hey guys, it's Liz here, and today I'm going to be using these 3 Sparkle Infusion Christmas colors, Shimmer and Pine, Kiss Me, and Christmas Sprinkles, to do a Christmas fishtail braid mani. Now I already have peel base on my nails, so I am going to be dipping in clear to start out with. Now peel base and a dip in clear is not necessary, but I do recommend that you do a dip in clear at the beginning, just because it seems to adhere to your nail better. So I also wanted to show off my new finger rest that Hangry Dips sent me. It's perfect for my Christmas videos, and I just love this finger rest. It is so pretty and it works so well. This one has like a very large rest for your finger, so it makes it a lot more stable for your finger. So I left this part in just in case you haven't watched any of my videos of working with chunky glitters. But if you have, I did leave a timestamp in the description, so you can go ahead and head over to the fishtail braid if that's what you're here for. So when you're working with chunky glitters, you want to, I like to put them in a cupcake liner, and then you want to kind of shake them to get the chunky glitters to the top of the dip. And then you're going to lay flat in it, clean up like normal, pat it down with a baggie, and then you just kind of want to leave it alone after that and wait for it to dry. The Christmas sprinkles, when it has like these mylar flakes, it's kind of similar to that. And here you see me using my finger rest to hold my thumb still. It works really great for stuff like that. But again, you're just gonna lay flat, clean up, and then you can kind of pat it down a little bit, but for the most part, after that, I kind of just leave it alone. Sometimes it's kind of sticking all over the place, and I do use my baggie to kind of pat them down as much as I can. But if they're sticking out all over the place, I just kind of leave it alone until it dries, and then I will worry about coming back and fixing all of that. So now we are getting to the fishtail design, and I decided to use this Scotch washi tape, but you can use whatever tape you have pretty much. Regular Scotch tape, packaging tape works well. There's lots of different things. You might just have to test out on a swatch before, but there's lots of different brands or types of tape that work well. So I decided to start on this proximal fold or cuticle end of my finger, and I just put it at an angle to my finger. I tried to make all of them about the same, and then again I'm using that same laying flat technique whenever I am laying into it, cleaning up and trying to push those glitters into the area where I need them before it dries completely. And you can also use the baggie if you need to make sure that they're laying flat. And then you're just going to leave them alone and let them dry. So I also wanted to mention that this tool that I'm using is actually made for clay. I've had this thing since college, and I'm not even really sure what it's called, but I will try and find one on Amazon if you are interested in that, because it works really well for cleaning up your cuticle area. So after you give it a little time to dry, then you're going to pull the tape off, fix any areas that you might have. And this one actually pulled off some of my peel base when I was pulling off the tape, but I actually just kind of put a little bit more peel base in there and held it down for a few seconds, and it held fine. I mean, it's still on my finger, it's holding up fine, so it worked. But after you pull off the tape, if you notice any chunky glitters that are overhanging that line, then you're just going to take your cuticle nippers and clip it off. And this one I just kind of like pulled it off, but I wanted that glitter on there, so I just kind of clipped it where I needed it and then stuck it back on, and it was fine after that. So you're going to do the same with the mylar flakes, and this one I had to kind of pull it up a little bit with the tweezers, but then I just came back with the cuticle nippers and clipped it where I needed to create that straight edge. So those lines are nice and straight now, and I'm ready to move on to the second layer. So when I'm color blocking, I always cover up the work that I've done before I do the second layer, or the next part, because I'm kind of messy when I work. So that's not necessary if you think that you can be clean. But for this one, I just wanted to match the angles of my last one. I kind of switched on that first layer, I kind of switched the angles. So for the second one, I was just trying to match that same angle as the first layer while I put on the tape. So then you're going to just dip like I showed you in the last one, putting on the base and then laying flat into it. Because you're covering up what you did before, you just have to make sure that you remember what your pattern is. So just make sure that you keep that in mind, or keep a pattern that's easy to follow. So this was the second layer, and I'm just cleaning up because some of those glitters got out of the line a little bit. I think my base just kind of got under the tape a little bit. So I'm just using that clay tool to clean that up as well. So with this layer, as you get, and you can see I've got like a ton of tape on my hands now. I'm just covering up all of those spaces that I've already created, or all the design that I've already created. So these two angles, you see I'm showing you those two angles are even, or parallel to each other. You just want to make sure that you get those angles correctly so it looks good. And this is at the end. I have tape all over my hands. And the big reveal at the end. So the whole time I'm working, I don't really know how it's turning out. So it was nice to like get that kind of big reveal. And some of the big glitters, I was trying to like place some of those glitters while I was working, and it kind of was pointless because some of them got pulled off with the tape. So I would just say, just do it if you're gonna cover it, and then come back and fix it at the end. And that's what I ended up having to do anyway. I had to go back and put on some big glitters and fix bald spots. I didn't do a whole lot of like dipping. It was mainly just putting in big glitters or little glitters to try and clean up those lines. And I just used a toothpick for this. I put a little bit of base on my toothpick, grab a glitter, and put it on there. So putting a little bit of base just helps you to grab those glitters and put them where you want. Then you want to do 2 dips in clear all over your nail. So after the first dip of clear with these Mylar flakes, I go back with my Cuticle Nippers, and anything that I feel that's sticking up over that nail, I try to clip it down as much as I can. So after you get the 2 dips in clear, then you're going to activate, let it dry, and then file and buff. So this is a new product that I got, and I have really been loving it. It works really well. This is a dust collector by DoLike. And yeah, since I've been using it, I have noticed a lot less dust in the air around me while I'm filing and buffing. It collects so much dust. I'm really loving this product. So here I'm also showing you how you can use your finger rest to shape your nail. So I like to use it like this so that I can really get the angles of my nails a lot better. It helps me to keep it steady so I can get those angles right. So I really love it for that. You can also kind of hold it in your hand while you're filing and buffing like this. And again, that dust collector just gets all that dust. All of it just goes, it's pretty loud, but I don't even care because it's collecting all that dust. I felt like before I got this, almost like I had to wear a mask while I was filing and buffing because all of those dust particles, I could feel myself breathing it in. It's so not good for you. So one of these is definitely worth it. So, I mean, I still try to wear a mask, but I'm so bad about wearing a mask while I'm doing this kind of stuff, and this will help out. But I definitely recommend it, and I recommend you getting a finger rest as well. And you can order one off the Hangry Dips website, hangrydips.com, and they will customize it any way that you want to. So this Christmas one is beautiful, but if you want something that is customized to you, for you, that you can use year round, then they will do whatever you want. So now I'm going to be using my Bonafide Beauty Ergo file to clean up my cuticle lines. So this product is really good for creating a perfect cuticle line. It's definitely not necessary, but it does make it so much easier because it's just the perfect shape for that, and it's easy to hold. You can also use just a regular Bonafide or any kind of glass file to just pull it around to clean up that cuticle line. But usually I kind of go back and forth between both because, on the sides of my nails, it's, not a curve. So to clean up the sides of my nails, I'll usually use my regular glass file for that. So after you're done shaping and cleaning up your cuticle, then you're going to activate, which doesn't mean that you're done filing. If you notice anything, you can always go back and file some more, just activate again. Then you're going to let it dry for 2 minutes. And I like to use an alcohol prep pad just to make sure that I got all of the dust off of my nails and anything else that might be still on my nails before I do my top coat. You just want to make sure that you wipe it with a lint-free cloth to get all of that alcohol off, or wait for the alcohol to dry completely before you do your top coat. So then you are going to do 2 coats of top coat. The first one you want to be a little bit quicker. You don't really have time to worry about getting it on there too perfect. You just want to do it quickly because you don't want to contaminate or your brush to start hardening because you are taking too long. That second coat, it can be a little bit slower, making sure that you get everything and make sure that you're capping your free end. After it's all dry, then you want to finish with a cuticle oil. Hangry Dips also sent me this to try out, and I asked them for a scent that reminded me of the spa, and this is definitely that. It is a super relaxing spa-like smell, and it was perfect. So they are definitely great at creating things and knowing exactly what you're talking about whenever you don't even know what you're talking about sometimes. But I did really enjoy this scent, and I was very glad that they sent this over to me to test out because it worked really well. So this is the finished mani, and as you can tell, because I used 2 glitters and then that Mylar flakes that had red and green in it, my lines aren't the best, but I really like the way that it turned out. It was a really pretty Christmas mani, and I really love this red as well, this Kiss Me Red. Definitely recommend that one as well. And that's going to be all for today. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.